Hey, this is Imperial PC again. Last week I've shown you my potion bulk brewer, and since then I've added some cool stuff to it. I also made another variation that could look great in the corner of your build, but first let's dive into the build tutorial with a little explanation animation. For a redstone potion brewer you will need top hoppers as input for the brewing ingredients, side hoppers to supply water bottles, and bottom hoppers to extract the finished potion bottles. We will be alternately locking and unlocking these hoppers, so we need a redstone signal with a precise length. We get that from this pulse extender, which turns a pulse into a steady signal. On top, we are adding a hopper chain to fill the side hoppers with water bottles, which are created by an automatic bottle filler. A chest minecart distributes your ingredients equally across the top hoppers, and for your convenience, this part automatically sends the cart around the loop until it is empty. And finally, the dispensing mechanism places a shulker box, which is then filled with potions and broken by a piston. And these are the materials you will need to build this machine. Additionally, you will need a water bucket, some glass bottles, ideally 18 stacks, 9 stacks of blaze powder, or you can probably start with 3 blaze powder per brewing stand. Then a bunch of shulker boxes, but I can also show you a trick how to use the system without any shulker boxes in the end, and a minecart with chest. Now here the building area is 7 by 8 blocks and that's 3 deep. So I start with a dirt pillar that is 3 high, then I point 1 forward and add a small staircase. So if you lose orientation during the tutorial, you can always look for the dirt pillar. Now I add a 3 by 3 platform, 2 more blocks with an air gap, and another 2 rows of blocks. Now let's add a temporary block with 2 hoppers. And we extend 2 hopper lines, that's the first one and the second one. Then we can remove the temporary block, add our dispenser, and in the back of the dispenser we add another hopper with a barrel. That's our shulker box storage. And then I like to add 3 barrels against the dirt blocks. These could be any full blocks. And now let's add our brewing stands. On top of the dispenser, let's add a full block and our button. And then let's jump down, grab our redstone stuff. So the observers will be facing into the dispenser. And then power a block. So this is our dirt pillar. We are now facing away from the dirt pillar. And we add a repeater with 3 redstone ticks. So we have to right click it 2 times. Then we add some redstone dust, 2 comparators, a full block, redstone dust, and 2 more comparators. And here we have our pulse extender, so the repeater signal goes into the comparators and it is held there for 7 seconds. And this will unpower this torch for 7 seconds. Now, facing away from the dirt pillar again, I will place a temporary block here. The sticky piston goes on top of here. And let's add a slab, a comparator, our dropper, and a hopper facing into the dropper. We want a dirt block in the dropper, and this is our shulker box braking mechanism. Let's remove the dirt block and continue with our hopper locking redstone circuit. So we add a block on top of the torch. Then in these corners we add some slabs. And straight in the middle we have another full block. Now we add slabs here, that's 6 more slabs here, and 2 more at the ground level. Then on the other side, 2, 2, and then 1 full block and 1 slab. And then we go on top of the machine to continue. We add a top slab on top of the dropper, and here we actually want a composter on top of this hopper. Now we can add our repeaters. Here we need another slab and a repeater and 4 more repeaters. And finally we can add our redstone dust. Here it will power up the redstone dust line. And this should trigger the piston. There we go. Now we can add hoppers to the side of the brewing stands. We got 4 on one side, 1 in the back, and 4 on the other side. We also want to lock these, so we add full blocks at the back. We extend the line with slabs. Behind the hopper another full block. Then 2 slabs and a full block, because we actually want to grab this bottom signal, send it into a full block, and then add a redstone torch here which sends the signal upwards. And then we add 1 more slab and 4 more full blocks. Now we go on top of the machine, we add our redstone dust all the way around. And then we can add hoppers on top of the brewing stands. Here on the right side we want a hopper facing straight down, and then we extend a hopper line all the way across the side hoppers. Here in the end we have 2 hoppers straight down, and our last hopper goes here on the right. Now let's add the last composters on top of the outer hoppers. And now we can begin with the rails. In the middle of the barrels we add a powered rail, then a normal rail, 3 more powered rails, 2 more normal rails, and now we have to actually leave a gap here, place a powered rail on this side, and then in the corner, now we extend the rail line upwards. From here we put a normal and then a detector rail. Now we actually want to break this powered rail and grab it from this bottom item hopper. Now we can add 2 blocks here, 2 slabs here, 1 repeater with 4 ticks, redstone dust, and then here at the detector rail we continue adding full blocks in a squiggly line, looking like this. Now we add a powered rail on the last block, and then again on top of the hopper, but now it's facing upwards. Now from the detector rail we continue our squiggly line, and it will face towards the dirt block like this. Now we can grab our lever. First place a block here, and then actually go around and place our lever here. This block will power both of these rails. Then let's go to the detector rail. Now a comparator will actually be able to read the detector rail through this block, and if the minecart that drives over the detector rail has items in it, it sends a signal to this full block which has a torch. We then continue this signal over here into a repeater. The repeater faces into a block with a torch, and this finishes the loop of the detector rail. Now we can add 2 more blocks to the side here, 1 torch that powers these rails and 1 torch that powers the other side. Now we actually start with the automatic water filler, so let's add a repeater with 3 ticks here and a comparator facing into it. Now we can grab all the leftovers. We have 2 power rails here, then observers facing into this. We go to the other side, another 2 observers facing this way, back to the other side, we add one dropper facing up and another facing towards us. Then we jump up, place a temporary block to add a dispenser. Now the clicking should start, and we add a leaf block. Now we grab our bucket of water, put it into the leaf block. We can add our glass bottles. Do not add them to this dispenser, only add them to both of the droppers. So 9 stacks go in here and then 9 stacks go in there. And water bottles are created. In the meantime, you can take your blaze powder and fill up all of the brewing stands. As mentioned in the beginning, maybe like 3 blaze powder is enough for the beginning. If you can't reach the back, you can just step in here and fill them up from this direction. Then we take our shulker boxes, add them to the barrel. Now it's a good time to remove our dirt pillar. Grab our minecart, place it on top, and add our last button. Now the system is ready. We can add a recipe of our choice to test this. Now when I press this button, the minecart should go around 3 times and automatically unload the ingredients. They are now ready to go in these hoppers, and they are going through the brewing stand. Now when we press this button, we don't want to stand on this block, otherwise the dispenser cannot dispense shulker boxes. That's why I put a trapdoor here. And when we press the button, it will dispense all the potions. And then it will automatically break the shulker box for us. Now I promised, if you don't have any shulker boxes, there's a solution for you as well. You can just add a double chest here. And now if you are brewing potions and then want to dispense them, they are dispensed into this double chest. Now if the double chest is full, you have to empty it, otherwise you will clog up the system. So ideally you would immediately place these somewhere in your storage. So I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. In the world download you will also find this new corner version. It looks super clean. The minecart is a little bit slower because the track is a bit longer, so you also need a bit more build material. But the dispensing of the shulker box is actually faster because it has 3 hopper lines going into it. And another thing, when you make a mixed box with 9, 9 and 9 potions, that's the German way, then the sorting of the shulker box is actually quite interesting. So it actually comes out like this, which is pretty much sorted nicely. And yeah, thanks for your comments on the last video. Thanks to Giuseppe or Greasepie, whatever your name is, for the idea with the auto cycling with the minecart. And I'll see you in the next video.